Fine advert once said, you go big or you go home.
That's it.
That is what you got to do. So, of course, in Anexis, you know, we did mention the fact that they have played across the world. They beat, they got second place at Sao Paulo as well earlier against LGIM it was. Unfortunately, they couldn't beat them in the final. So, picks and bans, thick and fast. Rumble, Varus, and Zac taken away. Thresh and Zed taken off from Anexis. Final ban for Anexis will be Twisted Fate, I think.
Twisted Fate or Shen would probably be my instinct guts on this one. And in fact, they're leaving both the globals open. So with
the first Twisted Fate that's ever got through so far in the promotion series.
Yes, correct. So first time it hasn't been banned out. Still 100% pick or ban rate on both Thresh, Zed, and Twisted Fate thus far. Actually, I'm lying. There was one Thresh that was missed. But now the question for Anexis, do they want to lock in both Shen and TF? We know Overpower can run TF. We know Overpower likes to try. He's willing to experiment with his runes, and Jason was telling me from some of the research, he actually even runs, GP10 yellows from time to time.
The fact that Jarvan has been locked in. Jarvan, 100% win rate, I believe, in the promotion series so far. Has only been picked once, to be fair.
But still counts, still counts. It's a stat that you can draw from.
Stats out there, it's important. The Misfortune looked like will be picked up. It seems to be Misfortune or Varus. The fact that Varus was banned does mean Misfortune's almost certainly the fallback, and Sona also being picked up.
So they're making sure they've got that power, that wombo combo coming out of that Misfortune with the bullet time laid over whatever damage you're going to put in there. Whether or not we're going to see the likes of a Curse of the Sad Mummy, Curse of the Sad bullet time type of composition coming from Anexis, it's a possibility. But they have given up Shen and Twisted Fate.
And Jarvan.
And yeah,
scary.
So first and foremost, Jarvan slipped through, he was locked in. But I don't know what their thinking is, what their plan is, or how they want to counter a Twisted Fate and a Shen. They could run something crazy like a Fizz in the mid lane or a Kha'Zix to jump on TF and just really take control of it. And we'll see what they decide to do now.
Well, that to me just is Samurai in Jeans right now, and must be thinking all our Christmases have come at once, all our birthdays. Everybody's had a party right now because they've got 3 of the essentially #1 picks that everybody takes.
Now, it's also one of the things that we were talking about. Youngbuck is playing a very, very good Shen. During the qualifiers for this event, he was playing a fair amount of it. It was actually banned a good number of times against him, as was his Rumble. So we might see that swapping when the lanes swap. But in terms of seeing Extinct on Twisted Fate, it's a champion he's going to have in his pool, but not one that he's been playing at a qualifying level for a little while.
Well, Singed being locked in that top lane. I'd put a smile on Joe's face at least. Nautilus also going to be in that jungle. So Singed versus Shen, we believe, is pretty much how it's going to go. Oh my word, if Draven comes out as well, this is just going to be such a strong team. If Freeze can...
Yeah, I think we've just got the dim mode on right now, just to make sure the players are really comfortable in their environment. Caitlyn and Lulu, great shove combination, and I love the early game power coming out of Samurai in Jeans. They're going to give that Shen up in the top lane, so he's going to be able to farm, become a split-pushing beast, and depending on how Zaxxas does with Singed in the early game will determine who's going to be able to out-push one another.
We'll see whether Katarina does get picked in there. And it would surprise me. There is the gold cards, there's the Taunt, there's the Jarvan, of course, going to be sliding through, so there's a number of interrupts. But we have seen Katarina played very successfully by the likes of Peke in the LCS, so let's not discount it just yet.
And if it does get locked in, we'll most likely see a teleport on both the top laner and the mid laner, would be my assumption. You can see that Ghost teleport is currently being sat on there for Singed. So they may have actually gone, look, we're going to let these globals through because we feel that having Singed and Katarina, our team composition, is going to be more beneficial once we get them to teleport in and jump around the battlefield. And as you can see by the summoner spell, it has actually changed. So it looks like it's going to be Ghost Flash for Singed and probably Flash Teleport for Cat.
Ghost Flash, it's kind of if it's Ghost Teleport, it's just the standing. It's just like running around, trolling you, just the most annoying champion you could ever face. After Teemo.
I like the clarifier. I really like the clarifier. What I do like about the Flash, if Youngbuck decides to try and use that Stand United at a moment's notice and tries to back off a little bit, Singed is going to be able to just flash in there, close the distance, and fling him over his shoulder, cancelling that teleport as it were. So we'll see how well that's going to match up. So what I do like from Anexis, I do feel like their team is going to scale pretty well into the mid and late game. They're going to be able to do a lot of good things with their combos. You get the depth charge and a good crescendo down. Misfortune can tear through people, but it's surviving those levels 6 through 12 that's going to be so imperative for them.
They're going to be in their cages. That's what Youngbuck thinks. We'll see whether it is. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. It is going to be the blue team of Samurai in Jeans, aka SIJ, and Anexis, ANX. That's going to catch me out a few times. We'll see who is successful. Will we have any level 1 engagements? We haven't really seen anything so far in those tournaments, so I'll be surprised if we do in this promotion, because the game can be won or lost at level 1, and nobody wants to lose the game so early on.
I completely agree with you. I also don't expect it to be level 1 engagements because of exactly what you've just seen from Continex. That Demacian standard flag is going to give you vision, going to allow you to move in and out, fairly safely. If Erotic on Nautilus does decide to level up its Rage line, then you may have the possibility of setting something up, but you need to really go all in. It does look like the Samurai Engines right now, they prepped the gold card. Extinct is going to be moving in, but there is a strut for Saliva, and he is just going to motor away, heals or no heals.
Yep, she's just struts away from that. Yellow card not going to land, and honestly, the Demacia standard really, while it did give a bit of free vision, it also gave a big warning that death is coming, and you need to avoid these yellow cards. Of course, Extinct could have flashed for it if he'd have got his chance to, but the fact that Salivar skipped around that corner was out of vision.
So that was something that I was, sort of thinking about, whether or not Extinct was going to be brave to just flash and stun. If they wanted to go for something like that, you could have seen Unlimited's Lulu move into the Baron Pit, put a ward down, and the moment that vision's there, it would give you that, instant reaction time to flash gold card. But obviously playing a little bit safer, not wanting to do that. In terms of summoner spells, there is no exhaust on the side of Anexis. So if, Jarvan or Caitlyn get very fed and start dealing a lot of damage, there's going to be absolutely no way to mitigate a lot of that, and that's something you're going to need to keep a close eye on.
Seeing Erotic taking down the Wolves on his own, he's going to get a lot of help on the red buff, it seems. Meanwhile, the red buff is also going to be the focus target for Cotenex. He had a lot of help as well from his AD carry and support. So it's going to be 2v1 in both bottom and top lanes. It's going to be Singed versus a Lulu and Caitlyn. That will be Freeze and Unlimited of Samurai and Jeans. And of course, the Singed will be Zazas.
So Singed is going to have a pretty difficult time because of all the poke and the range that Lulu's going to have in that bottom lane. Is a very poke-heavy champion. The Glitter Lance is going to negate a lot of early farming that Zaxxas will be able to do, and he's going to be relying on the creep wave pushing into his poison trail under the tower. So we'll see how well he's going to be able to CS with that poison trail.
And of course, the top lane, it will be Misfortune and Sona. That is going to be Selavar on Misfortune, Leo of Korea on Sona, and they're going to be up against Youngbuck on Shen.
So I like Youngbuck's chances in this top lane, even though you've got a lot of poke from Sona. Misfortune's a little bit, a closer range, and she needs minions for double up to be really effective. But with the Feint Shield and with the sustain that he's going to have from that Vorpal Blade, it will be helping him out. Plus, you've got Cotenex hanging out here in this top lane. He's about to come in and give Leo of Korea some love.
He got in there unseen. He is going to go towards Leo of Korea. He's going to have the Demacia slide, and it's going to be first blood picked up. The Shadow Dash will be back available in a moment. They could go towards Selavar. Instead, he has to be forced to flash away. Clever play straight away from Cotenex, says, sneaking in towards that bush without being noticed.
Leo of Korea saying, this is where I'm from, but Cotenex has played there before. He knows the style, and he manages to move up in the top lane at the right time to pick up that first blood on the board. So well played there for Samurai in Jeans. And of course, if Shen can get that snowball rolling even earlier, get level 6 quicker, they're going to be able to hit that, power peak very early on.
While this is all happening, we do see Extinct on Twisted Fate versus Overpower in that mid lane on Katarina. Salivar still very, very low in that top lane, but I don't think they're going to really go for the tower dive. Cotenex is lingering though. Remember, Flash was burned earlier on here.
So we'll see if it depends on the taunt or the knock-up. If one form of CC lands, that red buff is still there for Cotenex. So Salivar is a very juicy target, but luckily Leo of Korea, he does have those heals. He's been knocked up, and they're going to Sona.
They're going to get the taunts on him. He's going to take enough tower damage, and he does take it. Can he get the double up? No. Cotenex is going to walk away from this one, the Ignite running, but he is going to get off.
What a great start for Cotenex from Samurai and Jeans. Going to be able to secure both of those kills onto Sona, and both of them going over to Youngbuck. He not only has a CS lead right now, he's going to spend a massive chunk of change right now. 1,200 gold at 4 minutes. You couldn't have asked for a better start.
Well, he had very confident words, as you heard from Deficio earlier on, and it seems that he's backing them up right now with the help of Cotenex. So it's 2-0 already. Samurai and Jeans, they have that 1,000 gold lead built up in that top lane. It's where they've been completely camping Leo of Korea. Let's see how that turns around. Erotic is about to get an Extinct right in his face, but he's got, once again, Cotenex just off the side, which is why Extinct's sticking around. Goes aggressive on this one, puts the Ignite down on him. He's going to pull out another stun card, lands that one. He flashes away from it just in the right time, but here's Freeze coming around. Look, Cotenex is not going to slide through, not going to be able to interrupt him, but another flash was used.
So a very good summoner spell burned, and just such great presence. Cotenex actually, let's be honest, he was just in the right place at the right right time. Managed to not only save Extinct, but turn the gank around, turn the pressure on his opponents. Overpower's only level 5, and he wasn't able to jump in there with a Death Lotus even if he wanted to. So, a great play, and if now, of course, with Nautilus's flashes being down, if he gets caught out again, that'll be another kill on the board for Samurai.
So the mid lane is both going back. We see Overpower picking up the Sorcerer's Shoes. It's going to be a Doran's Ring and Boots for Extinct. And meanwhile, we do also have Erotic hanging around in this tri-bush, trying to see if he can maybe create an opportunity, just as Samurai and Jeans have done.
So we'll see whether or not he can. The key is going to be up to Zaxxas actually landing that fling on Singed. He's going to need to get in there and lock somebody down and then allow Nautilus's CC to chase it up. But some great vision from Samurai and Jeans means they're immediately going to back away. They're fully aware of this, and the wave is pushing up towards them, so they can even farm quite safely underneath their turret for a while.
Look at that. It's a giant spell already for Youngbuck in that top lane. That is just going to spell trouble. And this 2v1, that, you know, the fact that Anexis forced this 2v1, they were the ones that wanted to be aggressive, has backfired on them. Meanwhile, though, the mid lane, we do see Konex, he snuck around at the back. He's taken the Wraiths out, I think, at the moment. I'm not too sure whether he's going to go for Overpower, though.
So he's stolen the big Wraith, and he's decided to back away a little bit. He's almost at level 6. He's a full level ahead of his, counterpart. And thanks to those kills, he's going to hit that Cataclysm moment very early. Something else that Youngbuck did, which is very, very good, he's come back to lane with a pink ward. So not only does he have that massive health spike, he's going to put a pink ward down, clear out the vision, and pretty much say, hey, Konex, come have some fun. Leo of Korea's here, and we can pick up a third kill if you want to.
And you just saw the poke coming out from Sona there. Leo of Korea just literally making no impact on him because that giant spell is there now. The shield comes out and he just can't even break it.
No, nothing at all. It's one of those things, because he's got 2 kills, he's just got a very big advantage. Nautilus is still hanging around on the bottom lane, but look at all the poke that Zaxxas is taking. He's about to hit level 6, so he'll have that Insanity Potion to regenerate himself, and he's got a Philosopher's Stone as well. So that's an interesting pickup for a top lane Singed, one that we actually haven't seen from our LCS teams that have played the champion.
Yeah, that bottom turret very low as well. Konex is going to take away the red buff, see if he creates any opportunities. He is passing straight over a ward, so they know he's vision of this one. Extinct looking like he's got that stun card ready and waiting to go. Keeping his Overpower in check even. He's going to trek him as well maybe. But he's got the red buff running already, so he's going to try and maybe create something here. The blue buff will be given across though, so expect Extinct to come back across there. There is the first tower of the game going down. It's Freeze that pushes on it.
So we'll see how Salivar and Leo of Korea decide to react now with that tower being down. We've seen in the previous game between Sinners Never Sleep and TCM, where if you lose a tower and you don't swap your duo lanes, how quickly it can be when you lose, additional towers. And it does look like Anexis, they understand this. They've been in the situation before, and they've immediately swapped their lanes.
Zazzle's already going up top though, but look, he's in trouble, and he had to pop that Insanity Potion to try and run away from this one. He will be able to clear out that wave, but already Youngbuck looking very strong in this exchange.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if Singed is not going to be able to duel or at least survive the damage that Youngbuck's putting down, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Nice ward there from Anexis to give some vision on the dragon and just get them ready for when the Drake goes up. Gold card into wild cards. I think the wild cards actually missed thanks to the Shumpo.
Yeah, he managed to Shumpo over the wild cards there, so clever play. He's going to have to get across towards that blue. Meanwhile, we're going to see Extinct going up towards the top, flashes in, puts the wild cards down. It's another kill for Youngbuck, 3-0 in the top lane with the help of Extinct.
So like a million instant flashes there. Zaxxas thought he could get away by flashing, but luckily Extinct's flash was up and he immediately jumped on him, landed the gold card, and they picked themselves up their 3rd kill of the game. Samurai and Jeans are just looking so strong, and all 3 kills have gone to Shen.
But look at Konex. How confident is he right now? He's gone for 2 longswords as the jungler as an early item.
So we'll see how this goes. It's a fight.
He's going to be Cataclysm on towards him. Immediate Wild Growth comes on, and Erotic's going to be the focus of target. The jungler, he's going to go down. It was the Stand United from Youngbuck to help that one out, and now that's going to open the opportunity for the Dragon with the jungler down.
And this is what I was talking about in the preamble to the game. Level 6 to 12 are going to be the most important for Anexis because of the globals. Destiny gets 1 kill, then with Youngbuck going, hey, Dragon's up, let's fight this, pick a fight, I'll Stand United you, we can get him, give him a 4th kill, and they pick up Dragon. They now have a 5,000 gold lead, and those double longswords and Konex, they're going to be working towards that Spirit of the Elder Lizard. That's the name of it.
Easy to say, don't worry.
I'm getting tongue-tied today.
Overpower at the moment, he's unable to deal with Extinct right now, and if he doesn't look out, he's going to get stun carded up once again. The wild card will get thrown over him. Singed did have a little bit of time in that top lane to buy himself a little bit of love, but he is still behind Youngbuck, 57-48, and Youngbuck, of course, 4-0 already with the Sunfire Cape built. almost got the Mercury Treads route as well.
That is terrifying. He is going to be completely ignoring...
God, he's got a 2,000 gold lead over him.
Completely ignoring Misfortune's damage. Of his team's 5,000 gold lead, 2,000 of it is pretty much in his Sunfire cape right now. So you talk about the impact that Shens can have in games, and he's actually slipped through the cracks a couple of times during the course of the summer promotion tournament already. This particular Shen being played by Young Buck is one that everybody will be remembering for a while, because he's going to take complete control. He'll split push, and when he's not split pushing, he'll be stand uniting his teammates and securing his team even more kills. Destiny is up, and he has Overpower. Is he in trouble?
He thought about going for Overpower instead. He does come in towards the mid lane. Konex couldn't really lock him down. That Shunpo, very slippery little person, and it does mean Overpower is going to get away. Self-control there.
Very well played. Overpower is farming up fairly well in that mid lane, even though he's a melee, champion, and he's been dealing with Extinct, who does have that wave clear ability. And also, if you look at the itemization, he's working himself towards what I believe is going to be the Twin Shadows with the cages Lucky pick, but and we'll have to see. But he's picked up Merc Trades, which is quite interesting.
He's had to use his ulti once again, Zazas, but I don't think it's going to be enough this time around. That Sunfire Cape, the Shadow Dash comes across. He's taken very low. He's going to fling him away, though. Is it going to be enough for Youngblood to escape this one? We do see Extinct running up the tower. He's going to have a trace following through. The wildcards are going to get thrown out to him. He realized the fact that the rest of Anexis were coming up there, defends him off, but that means that top turret is completely exposed.
So Cotnex is moving towards the top. They may decide to apply pressure with both blue and red buff in the hands of Young Buck for that fight. He was completely able to dominate Zagzis' Singed. He's increased he's got a level lead right now, he's got the CS lead, and there's going to be a lot of damage on this tower.
Overpower is going to try and keep this one away. Shunpo's through and just about clears the wave. Of course, this means now that the middle lane is completely left open. We see the support pushing up there alongside Extinct, and this is just buying all complete free farming for Freeze.
Yeah, completely. And don't forget of the amount of time that or the amount of gold that Extinct is giving his teammates with his passive. Plus 2 gold for each and every CS picked up. So not only are they extending the gold with kills and with control, they're doing it with farming as well. The last time Cotenex was in his top lane, he was able to pick up a kill. The Taunt misses!
The Shadow Dash goes across, but it doesn't matter because the Cataclysm's there. The Flash straight away has to break the Cataclysm so they can push towards him. But now Erotic, he's very low. He's got no help at all at the top lane.
No, and there's nobody that can react quickly enough. If Overpower wants to join the party, he has to burn that teleport, and that would be just to defend the tower. So it looks like Anexis have said, give this one up, let it go, and we'll try to fight another day. What we do see is those duos of Salivar and Leo of Korea. They've also moved from the bottom lane to the mid lane to try and apply some pressure onto Twisted Fate. And if Twisted Fate is being forced to clear his waves and actually defend his turret, he can't Destiny around to pick up kills. So I'm pretty sure that's the thinking behind that.
Zazas really struggling now. He's only just got the start of that Catalyst, not let alone anywhere near that Rod of Ages at this stage of the game. 13.5 minutes gone. He is way behind Young Buck, like you mentioned. Now he gets the cages Lucky pick in there. He's actually getting a little bit of ability power.
So this is going to be, even more scary for the likes of Shen. Going to be able to just pull ahead even further. And, in comparison to his lane opponent, he is miles and miles and miles further. We do see Extinct, he's picked himself up that Sheen, so going to be going for some, an even more powerful spike in terms of his damage, but a fairly untraditional build as far as Twisted Fates are concerned. Merc Trades, Cage's Lucky Pick, and Sheen. It's definitely not the build order that we've come used to seeing.
We also see the Infinity Edge starting to be built up by Freeze, and that in comparison to the fact that Salivar is a long, long way behind Guzwell in his build. He's going towards a Runed Blade. Blade the Rune King, I should say. Get the proper name out there before everyone jumps on me. Yeah. Zazas, though, he's back up here in this top lane. He can't fight it. He can't do what Singed normally does, and that's run around and try and farm that gold. And you can see he lost half his health there in just one pass.
Now, Singed is a champion that can come back the later the game goes, and he's going to begin having much more of an impact than Youngbuck will be in team fights if Youngbuck cannot get 2, 3, 4-man taunts. Cast your mind back to when Godbro was playing Singed against Gambit, how he got shut down so incredibly hard early. But the longer the game went, the longer he was, or the more he was able to farm, get 1 or 2 items built up, and he was able to eventually help the Wolves actually bounce back and pick up a win in that particular game. So we'll see whether or not Zazas can do the same.
Yeah, pushing in towards this mid turret. It's down to half health. Overpower will clear out that wave. And while this is all happening, once again, Freeze free farming the bottom lane. He is going to come into this game when the team fight starts as absolute monster. Overpower's being locked up there. taking a chunk of damage.
Just complete free poke, that was what that was. And it was really well comboed as well, because the gold card landed, and as the gold card was about to get worn out, Lulu turned her into a munchkin and landed the glitter lance as well. So there was absolutely nothing that Overbite could do in this situation. And if he's being forced to lose a third to half of his life just in poke, he's never going to be able to jump in and get that death notice going.
The wards are being placed around there, and again the dragon will be up in 10 seconds time as Samurai and Jeans get ready to go for this one. While it's all happening, of course, Youngbuck, he's free farming in that top lane. It's going to be a 4-on-4.
So we'll see how this works out. Stand United is available, so if Anexis pick a fight, they need to win it quickly. They cannot afford to let that Stand United come in. What you see Samurai and Jeans doing is they're baiting, they're playing for time to give Youngbuck the ability to get the tower. And there's the dragon, it's stolen!
Stand United coming in, they do manage to get it as well, and this is all of the gold going to Samurai and Jeans. We do see Overpower going out. Can they pick up one kill? Yes, they do. Finally, it's Erotic that picks up that kill. They're going to come across, but it's also a double kill for Extinct, and now they're going to turn it around towards Erotic. Freeze is going to pick up a triple kill. Would you believe it? It is an absolute dominating ace right there for Samurai and Jeans. 9-1 in kills, 10,000 gold lead, just 16 minutes into the game. This is a stomp.
Youngbuck, he picks up 5 assists from that engagement. You've seen Cotnex, he steals the dragon. A 5-man Nexus was sticking on that one. They now lost a tower as well in the mid lane. This is crushing. The rest of Samurai and Jeans are pretty much saying, look, Youngbuck, dude, we get it, you're Shen, you want the kills, but please give some of them to us. And he says, yeah, no problem. Extinct gets 3, Freeze gets 2. That's a Lich Bane completed at 17 minutes. We still haven't seen Freeze spend the money that he's just picked up. He's probably going to finish off his Infinity Edge. And there's very little that Anexis can do right now. They're going to need to rely on Samurai and Jeans making mistakes and get the resets from Katarina to help them win fights.
This is turning ugly, safe to say, for Anexis here. This is not good times for them. They haven't lost any inner turrets right now, so that is one of the few saving graces. But the fact that it is 17.5 minutes gone, it's frankly very one-sided. And
in terms of how much pressure the Anexis are feeling, if you look at the itemization from Saliva, he didn't upgrade the Vamp Scepter with one of those 2 long swords. I had a inkling it might be something like a Brutalizer, but wasn't sure. And you see that he's picked up a Brutalizer now because he needs stats, he needs damage, he needs penetration right now. He cannot afford to farm and to wait and to delay because they're under so much pressure that any little edge that he can get, they're going to need to take. And Zazas is cinched. He hasn't even finished off that Rod of Ages yet.
And there's no armor on there either. There's no armor whatsoever on any of Anexis. And the fact that there's an Infinity Edge on Caitlyn is just going to shred them apart now.
Yeah, completely going to destroy them. We see that the Aegis of the Legion is being picked up by Youngbuck as opposed to Cotnex. But the kills and or the assists that he's got, he's picked up a Giant's Belt very early, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the likes of maybe a Randuin's Omen being completed there. That's going to allow him to dive into the backlines as you've seen him doing over and over, and just reducing the attack speed, the movement speed of the entire enemy team.
Well, free farming once again from Freeze. He's just chugging that bottom lane along. They're going to push straight in towards the inner turret. He's got a siege minion with him. The rest of the team are coming across. Unlimited has warded out all of the lane, the jungle area as well, so has full vision of them. Gets pinged out there, but you can see that turret being worked down. Meanwhile, the mid lane, it is where Extinct, he's pushing up towards there. We do have Shen coming down. He's going to steal away the red buff. Every single item of Anexis is being taken right now by Samurai and Jeans.
They can't defend, and the reason they can't defend is because of the globals. They gave away Twisted Fate and Shen and locked in a Misfortune and Sona. That was their gamble. The gold card is there, but it doesn't land. And Anexis decided that Misfortune and Sona were more valuable than TF and Shen. And I'm pretty sure they're regretting that decision right now.
I'm absolutely guaranteed they're regretting that decision. As I mentioned in the picks and bans, I think Samurai and Jeans thought the world had sort of been landed at their feet right there. They just wasn't sure. They were like, is this the real start to the LCS summer promotion, or are they actually giving us all of the 3 strongest champions right now in the game?
Is this the real world or is this fantasy? How can you give us 2 globals? And they're making perfect use of them. Stand United has been available for the last 30 or 40 seconds, and you'll probably see the likes of Samurai and Jeans trying to force some engagements, as you can tell by Freeze and Unlimited sticking around in this bottom lane. They're almost baiting Anexis to pick a fight and saying, look, TF's in the middle, he can teleport here with Destiny at a moment's notice. Youngbuck can join the party at any moment, and they're just going to be playing the map now because they're so far ahead.
Seeker's Arm Guard's being picked up by Extinct, whirling towards that Zhonya's Hourglass. Meanwhile, Youngbuck does take down a big chunk of this top health here. Zazas has managed to come in there, finally completed that Rod of Ages, but honestly, there's not a great deal he can do about that one. He simply scares Youngbuck away, and he's just thinking, well, fine, I'll go and spend a chunk of that huge gold pile that I've been building in his top lane.
Zazas is 3 levels behind his opponent. If you look down the board, every single one of them is winning. Not only was the Aegis of the Legion just picked up by Youngbuck, it's actually a Runic Bulwark right now. So there wasn't even an interim between the upgrade. He's just gone straight. Beefy, tanky, and now he's helping the rest of his team remain tanky. Extinct is about to find Katarina here. No, Singe rather, Zazas. He's deciding not to go in. I wonder if they were thinking about going for a kill.
So, my question, which I've asked a number of times in these situations, is what the hell do Anexis do? Because this is clearly absolute decimation for them. They've got to look at their picks and bans. They've got to regroup at the half-time. And they've got to think, what the hell? Why did we go so badly wrong in that picks and ban phase? Because the game was lost then.
Where did they go wrong? They picked Misfortune and Sona instead of Shen and Twisted Fate.
Basically,
that's the answer. If you're going to go for that, right? And this is the simple fact of it. If you're going to go, we want MF Sona and leave those two free, then that lane has to destroy. It has to absolutely decimate. And what it did is it cost them because
it got decimated.
They camped Leo of Korea. They didn't have the wards, they didn't react, gave up 2 kills to Shen, and it's that simple. The decision that they made to pick those champions cost them the game. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody was getting very animated and excited about at what point you should surrender. Do you remember who was talking about that, D-Man?
I believe it may have been me. And the fact that they're having 3 lanes pushed at the same time right now, they're going to lose the top. Dragon's going to spawn in 13 seconds. Samurai and Jeans are going to take it. If Anexis go to fight for it, they are going to get aced.
It happened last time. It cost them 2 deaths. Samurai and Jeans got Dragon, a mid lane tower, and a Dragon. I said that already. And, of course, the Ace. The last time they fought, Anexis are positioning themselves. There is the Destiny. Leo's in trouble.
He actually missed it, but look at the Ace in the hole. It practically killed him one shot right there. They come straight across there. That's going to be Salavar getting melted. It's Youngbuck, the top laner, that's taking down the AD carry. The rest of the team are just shrinking away. Zazas unsinged. He's not got enough hit points to take down that. Extinct gets dropped there. Konex comes sliding through. He upsets Erotic. Erotic's going to try and run away from this one with his anchor, but unfortunately, he's going to get away. Is it enough? The burning's not enough. The red buff didn't take him down.
So the potion was ticking through that, was able to save him in that regard. They lose 3 players and a dragon, and that was just a matter of standing in a bush.
Oh, well.
Next, just waiting there. They walked straight past him, and he said, yes, please, I will take this one. He's just picked himself up a Twin Shadows now on Youngbuck Shen. If you thought that you could get away, if there was any chance of surviving in the past, it is now completely quelled, because Gold Card, Twin Shadows, Knock Up, Caitlyn traps, Lulu slows. There is nothing that Anexis can do, and this is the point they should surrender.
This is the point where the game is actually over for them, and frankly, they are just, they're going to make their morale worse. Because they're not, I mean, I may be told to eat my words and they may come back and win it, but I would be absolutely blown away.
So it's one of these situations where if you're sitting as Anexis right now, you can surrender and you have 5 minutes to talk, 5 minutes to discuss what went wrong, what do we need to change, and then you need to jump to the next game. If, however, you continue playing and this game goes another 5, 10, 15 minutes, you can use that time to talk. You can use it to discuss. There's a crescendo that misses completely everybody thanks to the movement speed increase, and Leo of Korea may be sent back there.
I shouldn't laugh, but that definitely missed quite badly there. Konex jumps on. That's going to be the ace in the hole coming across there. What has happened to the Anexis that I've seen so many times at tournaments? It is being absolutely stripped apart by Samurai and Jeans right now. The ace in the hole is going to come out. That, again, does almost all of the damage to Overpower. He does manage to get his Death Lotus off, and he's going to run for this one. Well, the Glitter Lance does come through with Anexis. Zazas is meanwhile trying to cut some out. He gets caught with the Shadow Dash, and Freeze comes in the backside with another shot, and that is a 3 for 2. Not a bad exchange, but it could easily be an ace.
Yeah, not a bad exchange, but it was mostly sloppy play from Samurais and Jeans. They decided to go in realizing just how far ahead they were, even though they were outnumbered and outpositioned. So when you consider all of that was a bad engage from less players and in the wrong position, that was actually not too bad at the end of the day. But 2 for 3, it's a little bit of extra gold going into the hands of the Anexis members, and they did get that killing spree gold down from killing off Extinct. So we'll see whether or not they can use some of that money to their benefit, trying to remain optimistic here.
well done. Well done, because it's almost a 16,000 gold lead right now. That's pretty huge when we're looking at 25 minutes in the game.
Yeah, it's a huge gold lead between these two teams, and it's just because of what it equates to in you know, the statistics differences between the players in terms of their items. Very, very little they can do. And the idea was coming back to earlier. You know, if you've got a dead game, if you've got a game that's going to be lost, may as well use their time to talk about it. Pretty much.
You may, but they're not. Look at their faces. They're not talking about the game. They're not doing any discussions about this game. They're focusing on what they're doing right now, which, you know, fine, fair. It was a gallant effort, well done. And, you know, Gambit said themselves, we would never surrender in a game. But as it stands, this is an unattainable position.
Well, we'll see how long it takes for them to be defeated. Then,
I shouldn't bang on about this, but you know what? I am.
It has been a very one-sided affair. Probably the heaviest loss that we have seen during, you know, out of all the games from the summer promotion. What did happen the last time we've seen a big loss was that was
a
of
big
course
comeback.
Yes, was of course Alternate against Wizards, and you know, Alternate bounced back in game 2. Destiny is there, and they've caught out Leo.
My God,
they've melted Leo.
He actually died in a single sweep. And that was simply the ace in the hole from Freeze again. Just if I could click my fingers a little closer to the microphone. That's
the sound of a sonar popping.
That's the sound of a sonar popping. It's like the death mark on you right there. But it's just, he was gone. And that's going to be the Baron. There's naught they can do about it.
27 minutes on the clock, 16-3. All in terms of the kills, it's all one-sided. Gold is all one-sided. Map presence is all one-sided. We do see Nautilus.
Go on, Erotic, slide in and steal it.
And
you know you want to.
fake Samurai and Jeans have decided to back off. You see Youngbuck in the bottom lane. He's toying a little bit with Zaza still. They're playing, but they're on the wrong sides of the map. Deciding they want to swap teams for a little
They're
bit.
actually farming between each other's ways.
This is Zaza saying, can I join your team? You stay here, I'll go there. I think I prefer the setup right now.
Trading places.
But at the moment, it's just doing the best they can. I think Singe has got to the point where he's not actually killable by Shen because of the items that Shen has. And Youngbuck realizes that and pretty much says, well, I'll farm behind you, you farm behind me, and problem is solved.
The thing is, and I'll go back to what Jason said really in the last game, was the fact that there's absolutely no reason they should go for Baron right now, because they have such an enormous advantage. They don't even need to risk the fact that they could, some wild reason, lose that Baron. They should just keep on pushing the lanes.
And Erotic failed to smite Dragon the last time there was a fight. You know, Cotnex just walked right in there and smited as well. So not only do you not want to run the risk of, you know, that happening, they've already seen buffs being stolen away. So, you know, it's not something that you want to see happen. It's always, you know, a reminder for a team when you see players making those plays.
We do see all the lanes being pushed up. Extinct's going to go in there. He's just wiping out the waves. It does look like they're going to go back to Baron then.
So now they've got a little bit more vision.
They've got all the time in the world now.
Pretty much just waiting. You can see that Singe has been locked up in the bottom lane. He's fairly low on HP. So what it means is if Shen, you know, does decide to join the Stand United, the amount of time it'll take Singe to join is very, very long. And because they got complete vision, they'll be well aware that Erotic is on the way. He's going to get there way too late to join the party. Baron is gone and going to be crying just a little bit more inside.
Just weeping ever so slightly. We're weeping along with you, Anexis, don't worry. As the Freeze is having fun on that screen.
Yeah, big smile.
That's not Freeze, that's
Freeze is
Unlimited.
second closest.
That's got a big smile on his face.
Very big smile on Unlimited. He used the wild growth there in the Baron pit just to make sure that everybody had a little bit extra HP and, you know, really didn't run the risk of being taken out by absolutely anything. But look at the item difference here between Freeze and Salivar. Infinity Edge, Blade of the Rune King, Lost Whisper, and Zeal. In comparison, to a Bloodthirster, a Pickaxe, and a Brutalizer. There's such a big disparity between them. Mid laners, you have a Needlessly Large Rod, the Lichbane, Hourglass, Cages Like You Pick. In comparison to a Mask and a Wand, there's nothing there that Overpower can work for.
Trevor, I'm just going to say this once. It's a 20,000 gold lead right now. We are 29 minutes.
I will be saying it again, so don't lie to me.
20,000 gold. No, that's it. I'm not saying it anymore because this is such a one-sided game. I don't know really what to think. This has gone beyond compelling thought.
More than half of Anexis' total gold is the value that Samurai and Jeans is ahead of their opponents. Look at the numbers. 13,000 to 7,000.
I said I wasn't going to talk about them again. I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't bear thinking about.
I am. Let me get through it. You have 5,000 gold difference between you sort of top, mid, and AD carry. Right now, Samurai and Jeans with Baron have decided that they're happy to finally start trying to push this one through. Youngbuck is up in the top lane. He's shoving that wave down as quickly as possible. And of course, if a fight breaks out, Stand United is there. So he will be there at a moment's notice.
and a moment's notice, but he's just going to keep on pushing that lane. The mid lane is actually going to push itself. That big giant wave of minions that's clashing against each other will get shoved along by Samurai and Jeans. We do see the lock-up on Erotic there, and they just get shredded down on their health. They can't sustain this. They can't hang around. They're going to go for the fight instead, and immediately Stan United straight onto Freeze. Konex just jumps on Overpower and squashes him in the Cataclysm. He didn't actually come out of that. He was pancakes right there. We are going to see them diving in. Here comes Twisted Fate. Erotic's all over Selavar, and it's a double kill for Youngbuck. That takes him to 8-0-8, I believe. It may even be higher than that. And that is going to be the inhibitor turrets going down. And by God, it's going to be the game. And it is finally going to be over. It is going to be Samurai and Jeans picking up game one in complete domination form. And really, it was all about that start. Konex and Youngbuck in that top lane, just completely mashing out and really picking all of the champions that they believe are strong. I would not believe the Copenhagen Wolves were given that opportunity. Of course, this is a best of three. I'm not even going to give you a chance to talk, Trevor. I'm going to pass straight over to Joe and Jay.